welcome to Gers TV. I'm Si Leslie.
And I'm Sandra Gemmell. Glad you could join us, guys.
Welcome back, Sandra.
Oh, glad to be back.
Before everybody asks you, you're going to get 100 messages, are you alright?
I know. I'm doing fine, guys. I'm doing fine.
And I was no well, they were asking me if I got the virus.
The virus.
I don't know which one they meant.
The virus.
Loads and loads to talk about, guys. I know you've seen what's happened in the news in the last 4 or 5 hours. Before we start that, get everybody to like and share. And let us know you can hear us alright. Give us a thumbs up. We're back to a different set of mics that we used to use, and I think they're a lot better. Give us a thumbs up so we know you can hear us. Put it down there.
Where are we now? Home Alone, no fans. Bits Mackenzie.
Gordon's looking different this week. We've got good numbers, guys. Keep liking and sharing it, but give us a thumbs up so we know you can hear us. There we go. People
there we go. Thank you, Roddy. Thanks, John.
Before we do it, we'll do the thing. We quickly do the...
Right, John Gardner. Hello, Warren. How you doing? James Wilson. Merry Christmas. Donna Robertson. How you doing, Donna? Brian Newell. Kenneth Young. Take me down a wee bit. Where are we? Aye. John Gardner. Frank Barrett. Donna again, right down.
That's just a couple of replies
to you. James Matheson, how you doing?
Neil Reid for
Marion, hello Marion, how you doing in Dallas, Texas?
John T. Gardner, Merry Christmas everyone. Merry missing. Thomas M.
Candace Binney, here's a new name.
Oh well, right. These are going up. Hang on 2 seconds. The team just won a cup when you'll come on to Gers TV.
I know. Sad day for you. There you go.
Is that one that I see is terrible now?
1 up. 2 up, no. Next one, that's it.
He's gone.
There we go. Andy's away. Hello, John, John. Betty Mackenzie.
John.
How you all doing? Glad you all join us tonight, guys.
Brilliant. Don't want to miss anybody. Roddy Lumsden.
Tom Sweeney.
There's loads guys will be here already. We'll try and catch up again.
Jim Ward, how you doing?
Big Paul, hi Sandra, I'll be on Merry Christmas.
Stuart Stanley Spud Brown.
John Stewart.
That was a mouthful there.
Burnley Mulligan. A lot of new names.
Aye, Donald Russell, how you all doing?
And Marshall Conn. We'll go back to that later on, guys, very feed. Right, before we start, we're going to do a wee video. Normally when we do the videos, they're cheery and they make people laugh and things like that. With good tunes on it. This one's a wee bit emotional at the start and then it cuts in later on. Before I put the video on, just to explain, every year the Gers TV do a fundraiser for Yorkhill Sick Kids, now called the Glasgow Sick Kids, and that hospital covers the whole of Scotland. And when I spoke to them last week, I told them about my intentions of Gers TV again this year, to buy a PlayStation 5 and some games. The boys just mentioned an email that came in 10 minutes before it. There were 2,000 selection boxes short and some of these are going to kids that will get nothing, and he said could I put a wee dent in that and maybe help them with a couple of hundred. At the time I thought it was a great idea to say that the Rangers fans will get 2,000. The boy said there's no chance you've only got 7 days. So don't worry, I think if we put the appeal out, the Rangers fans will get us 2,000. Currently sitting at 1,500 I believe. Maybe more because I got a photograph of people still coming in tonight. And we've got another 24 hours to hand them in to the various bars. The Loudon Tavern in Duke Street, the Bristol Bar in Duke Street, the Black Bull, the Rotary Bar in Maryhill, the Black Bull. And if anybody's wanting to get involved with that, just let us know. You just take a selection box, 80p, whatever, 50p, drop one into one of the pubs. It would be much appreciated. The reason I'm saying that is when you watch the video you'll understand why. Alright guys, give us a wee minute here. Remember to like and share.
Keep sharing.
Rangers in the famous light blue, and his cheers, boys, cheer, cheer them all the way. That's what we'll do when we see the Rangers play, for we're orange and we're blue, and we're loyal and we're true, and we're here to cheer the Rangers in the famous light blue. Now from Antrim way, from Derry and from Down, from every tiny village, every hamlet, every town, for we're orange and we're blue, and we're loyal and we're true, and we're here to cheer the Rangers in the famous light blue, and his cheers, boys, cheer, cheer them all the way. That's what we'll do when we see the Rangers play, for we're orange and we're blue, and we're loyal and we're true, and we're here to cheer the Rangers in the famous light blue.
And we're back. Guys, that was a long video, but I think it's really important that we put that out there, so people know why we're doing that. The start of the video is quite emotional, obviously, but the Sick Kids Hospital sent me that and asked me to play it, so you understand exactly where any donations go to. Just quickly, just to let you know that the video there I done, that was just some of the photographs of people that have participated. Some of the bars have not sent me the photos in yet, and a full video will be made next week. We've done a collection as well as the selection boxes that we've raised £740 in the space of a week. If anybody wants to top that up, maybe try and get it to 800 if you contact us after the show, and we'll be able to give you a receipt.
And thanks to anybody that has donated and donated to selection boxes also. Thanks very much for helping us, guys.
And all the world of support from all over the world for that.
Yep.
Right, let's talk football.
Hey, first of all, keep sharing, guys. Keep sharing, because through that wee video we've kind of took a wee dive there.
A couple of people didn't want to watch it. I know some are emotional, guys, but see if you just like, share and subscribe to any one of these three. We're doing a competition as well. Right, just quickly, we've got a couple of people commented there. They're all saying brilliant stuff like that.
That was just about the video. Hello, Ellen Callan. I hope you're doing alright. Not seen you in a while.
Aye.
Remember the last year for
right.
that call?
Aye, visit. Good to see you back. Right, so we'll talk about, first of all, we'll just quickly talk about the game
explosion.
of the weekend. Aye. We'll talk about that in a minute. I think we'll talk about football first. At the weekend, Rangers got a 1-0 victory. You could say that it wasn't the best game of the season for us. Personally speaking, you're going to have to win the games you're not playing well.
That's that.
From Broncos, what's he lost 2 goals since he came to the club? Maybe 3, I think it's 2. I think he's got us playing really well. The weekend we didn't play so great, so I've got to say fair play to that. We got the victory and it was a definite penalty. Some of the media called it controversial. There was nothing controversial about a clear handball. It was an off day for us when we got the result. People might not agree with that, but what do you think?
whoever agrees with us, aye.
Well, I think a lot of people would have said this Tav going to take the penalty. And the other 2 talking points for the game I'd say were Tav taking the penalty, obviously. One of the talking points was, why did Joey Rebo not play from the start? And Rebo's one booking away for no playing in the Rangers Celtic Rangers game, that they're scared to play us in. Right, so
don't be saying that now, I'll take a huff.
We'll take a huff for that, we'll go back to that in a minute. So if he played them, we get booked out when they're played, so you've got to understand that. And the other talking point was, I felt it would be a bit bad for the guy, but had you kind of laughed at fans when you go to the man of the match, and he had a stinker in my opinion, but he's a good player, nice enough lad.
But
But they had a stinker and they all laughed, right, and I felt wrong from it. My take on it personally is the sponsors pick a man in a match every week.
That's right, aye.
And if you want a different player for your company, which
That's
I would want, if I found a company I'd want a different player, and there maybe had a few, it's all a bit free behaviour at this point, and maybe somebody's went, I'll just pick Hadji.
And we've not had him.
No, had him.
Aye.
It can be the only explanation, in my opinion. If somebody did watch the game and think Hadji was the man in the match, let us know. Let us know that. Let us know your opinion. Also, let us know where you're watching for the world. There's a couple of comments came in there.
Hey, hold on. So I am self-isolating at the moment, but if you PM me the bank details, I'll
Guess
transfer you the money, and if you could buy some selection boxes for me, Scott Guest.
Perfect, mate. I'll get that after the show. I can't put them on live up here. Big shout out to Stevie, the DJ, for helping me Gers TV on Friday. Great. Aye, quickly before I forget, midnight in Oswald's. It was a last minute event just to raise some money. And Stevie, he'll probably be on later on. Stevie, he comes on the show every week. Donated the services for us as a DJ, and he came through and he said he wasn't really wanting any acknowledgement. He paid to get in as well, and his roadie came along, he paid to get in, and they supported us with a free event. It was fantastic.
Sorry, I was just deleting a few there.
Not quite right. And wee Jodie, the singer, Jodie came along and entertained us for 45 minutes as well. So hopefully with this campaign, the problem you've got is it's easy to forget people, because every kind of organisation's got involved and helped us. So if we didn't miss anybody, we apologise, but thank you very much for all your support. Right, that's the big news. Comments
What is the big news?
Yeah, they're coming in for Russia.
Right, co-winning.
Co-winning. Big Boffy. Big shout out to Boffy, who done really well for us.
Neil McDougall.
Boffy done more than, I think it was 2, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, but he done 2 campaigns at least to help us. Boffy's the big man's view of Mull. When he's sober, he's the most soberest man in the world, and when he's drunk, he's
the drunkest guy in the world.
But no, all kidding aside, he's sorry, no Boffy, his whole supporters club have been fantastic in raising money for us. We don't want any recognition, but it's nice to say thank you very much. It is appreciated. So what's your comments on the
Right, what are we thinking, guys? What's the thoughts on this?
Right.
The topic of the day.
The topic of the day, everybody knows, is it's a big game. It's coming up. It's the New Year's Day, Rangers Celtic, Celtic Rangers. This time it's at Celtic Park. Rangers fans are not going anyway, we know that.
Yep.
And I'm astonished that they're actually going to try and get this game called off. One thing I've always liked about the game is sometimes you think you're going to take a hiding, your nerves are racked, and sometimes when you think you're going to take a hiding, you get a win. But whatever you do, you don't run scared of the other team. Over the last 10, 15 years, Celtic get this thing when they're known for them, they don't want to play football, they want games cancelled, various reasons. The big one I'll talk about quickly is the fact that Rangers were on the march to win the 4 trophies, the quadruple, with one of them being the UEFA Cup. The games were piling up. Celtic were one of the teams that didn't want to hold back, they didn't want to extend the league, and they told a blatant lie saying they had a tour of Japan. That tour has still never taken place to this day. You have to ask what kind of club would want a game cancelled. I get the fact that football should be, I'm totally against the lockdown stuff, you know that, the vaccine stuff, I'm totally against every part of that, I don't support any of it. However, the rules in place that they're wanting no fans in the ground, 500, and there'll be 500 fans, but what they're saying now is they've released a statement today saying that they should move the winter shutdown so they don't need to play Rangers. In effect, that would mean that Rangers would then be weakened because our players that play in the African nations wouldn't be able to play. But also, Rangers are the foreign team just now. Celtic are in form. You've seen the decisions of your luck doesn't carry on every week, and they know that. Last minute goals, 7 minutes into a 6 minutes injury time goal, offside goals, penalties, punching the ball outside the box. You've seen the decisions by this intimidation that happens every week. This organisation who caused a referee strike in the past and made us a laughing stock of Scottish football are now pushing with a few cohorts of Scottish football to get the game moved. My opinion on it is Rangers Football Club, and I mean the board, I've attacked them before on the fact that we don't fight at a corner, and I think the Rangers PR should be out in full flow here and make sure that the only people that we fight for is our club and our fans. The game must go ahead and the show must go on.
Can I read the Sons of Struth?
Yeah, good call, 'cause I can't
right. Sporting integrity was a term coined in 2008 by Celtic as they attempted to block any movement of league fixtures when Rangers reached the UEFA final and had the backlog of postponed fixtures to play. Today's club statement claimed the game owes its supporters to explore all the opportunities and maximise the prospects of supporters being able to attend matches and support the game they love. They didn't hold such desire to explore any opportunities in March 2020. They have no integrity, they have no shame. They'll attempt to utilise any possibilities to give themselves an advantage. Attempted recently to include lies about non-exist, end of season tours, ex-players' funerals and world pandemics. Let's stop this charade and call it what it is. Did they attempt to not play the delay in 2020 Scottish Cup final against Hearts in an empty stadium? We played for months in empty stadiums, yet all of a sudden the teams that couldn't adjust to zero crowds have very important fixtures to play with a squad with no recognised centre forward, or anyone has to move fixtures that previously due to sporting integrity couldn't be moved. There you go.
That was the Sons of Struth.
That was the Sons of Struth.
We're a protest group originally, but they're now a footballing academy, but also a Rangers group still. I can't disagree with any of that.
I know,
I can't.
It was spot on, I think.
I would be embarrassed if that was my football club who wanted a game cancelled merely because Rangers are on form. This is a team that's had no competition for half of the century. The last century, they've had no competition. Scottish football threw Rangers down to the very bottom tier. We had protests for years warning what was going to happen, and our protests were mocked at by the media, and the same media is now telling us, listening to Radio Snyder, right? They're telling us for the good of Scottish football we changed the game. It doesn't matter if Rangers were the favourites. Well, it does matter.
It does matter.
That's the whole point of why you play games at a certain time, because you might as well just have 4 Old Firm games in a row then, if it doesn't matter if Rangers are a foreign team. Play fair, it's supposed to be. We worry about the league not being taken seriously at times. Referee strikes, teams refusing to play, harassing referees. This kind of stuff needs to stop. The Scottish officials need to stand up.
Where does it stop?
Well,
where does it end?
Look at Dundee when the email for the vote disappeared. Right, we all know what happened. It was horrific, but this club will not stop because the rule on fear, and a lot of teams in Scottish football are scared of their power. Rangers Football Club, the biggest club in the country, need to make a stand here. I don't think I'll ever forgive them if they don't. I don't think I could ever take it back. And
they do need to stand up. Stand up and be counted.
I don't care if everybody in Scottish football goes against us. I really don't care. No one likes us. We don't care. That's our motto. We've got to go ahead with this game. And the reason we've got to go ahead with it, they're not telling you that the game's cancelled. All they're saying is that there's no fans. There's going to let 500 in. I'm totally against that.
So what does it matter? Let's go ahead with the game.
I'm totally against it, as I said. However, if it means that I don't have to listen to an hour and a half of an IRA shambles that took place last week and some of the sectarian abuse sang it, Chris Boyd, then I'm not really that bothered, to be fair. What comes around goes around sometimes.
Do you know, I don't really understand why we're having all these vaccinations, right? I know you have your own thoughts there, right? But we've had all these vaccinations and we're still in the same position we were last year. We're going back in to the same position in Boxing Day as we were last Boxing Day. Only just, I don't understand why we're doing all this, for to be back in the same position, and now we're back no getting into football. You can get in with passports, no you can't. What is it? We don't know what we're doing here.
None of it makes sense. I've just got to the position where any time, see when Rangers were getting into administration and things like that, I started making a point when I don't listen to the news, right? And then when this virus thing started 2 years ago or whatever, I stopped listening to the news. I just can't listen to it because it's always negative. A point I'm going to make, I'm going to speak to Gordon tonight as well later on. But an interesting point for me, I don't know the answer, and I find it quite funny to be honest. We all know that the Roman Catholic vote sticks together, and they voted for the last couple of years, the last 10 years they left Labour and joined the SNP on a tirade of looking for independence under any banner. Will this affect them? Is that 60,000 fans that have lost for that?
I know.
Could that a win-win situation with that one? I don't know, but that made me laugh when I thought about it. These people voted the SNP in, they supported them, and now they're getting it's the very same as with the hate bills and all that they got created when they realised it was going to affect them. It wasn't just about the Billy Boys, they turned and didn't like it. So, in my opinion, the show must go on, guys. If you agree with the show must go on, give us a thumbs up. And if you think I'm talking rubbish, which is fair enough, and you think the game shouldn't go ahead, put your thumbs down.
Right, there's James Wilson. I'm an unvaccinated Rangers man. There's plenty of yous out there, but basically, I get done because I care for my mother, right? So I don't want to take things into her. We've all got different reasons for what we've done, but we should be further on in life after taking all these vaccinations, these things that are going to save us.
I don't really bother with anybody that's had the vaccination or don't. I don't really get into the conversation.
It's a personal thing.
Because you end up arguing with people, and the whole point of it, we just want to go.
I see your point of not taking it, but I see my point of how I've had to take it.
But what I will say is it's never ending. It's getting to the point where you're going, No again.
I
No
know,
again.
I
No
know.
again. No again.
I
Right.
know, I know.
We already know there's going to be another one this summer, right?
I know, we got that one vaccination, we've now rolled
In
into
fact,
3
the
now.
last I'll say on it is I did rant, if you remember, not on the channel but in personal conversations, that because everybody's taking these jabs we're going to be into lockdown in Christmas. If you remember I said that,
yep.
and all my pals laughed at me on Facebook, but
And
obviously
we're here.
because these people are putting COVID into your body, so if they're putting it in your body it's going to come back. Anyway, but the show's not about that argument. But what the show is about, surely people want the game to go ahead. Surely you want what I class as the biggest game in world football to go ahead. Surely. And everybody's putting the thumbs up so far, so people would
We
agree with me.
definitely lose support alongside the Offensive Behaviour Act as well, Gordon Bond. COVID not
Yep, I
going
agree with that.
anywhere, we need to learn to live it.
Of course, we've,
Yep.
we've got to take it on, mate. I hate the whole thing. I hate the fact that it wouldn't have bothered me if the stadium was full of their support because we got it the first time around. It wouldn't have bothered me. I think that football should be for fans, and I think the Rangers support should have been there. But at the same time, I would never had a problem with the Celtic supporters being at the start of the season at Ibrox. I like the challenge. I like the fans arguing with each other. I like the. You need to watch these things nowadays, right? But you know how a game of football, Stuart Waiton, the professor, famously said, you go to a game of football to offend each other. But like that, everybody I know, any Celtic fan I've ever met in my life, they love coming to see a Rangers game and calling us every name under the sun. We call them every name and then they get him happy. That's all been taken away from football and I don't like it. I've got to say, the game's got to go ahead, and if Rangers PR don't come out and fight this, well, I don't know where we go for there because we'll just keep getting up. It's back to the David Murray days, going round in circles.
Right, Marion, each to their own. Damned if you do and damned if you don't. I agree with you. They fear us now.
That's one thing it is that does give me confidence in all this. They know we're the better team, but listen, the better team doesn't always win the Old Firm game. That's a fact. We've seen it for many, many years. The fact that they're scared gives me confidence. You know what I mean? It gives me confidence listening to the second biggest club in Glasgow. No wanting to play the famous Glasgow Rangers.
That's it.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
That's really like us saying
own.
we don't want to play Borussia Dortmund because they're playing well. I can't wait to be playing them. They might take 4 or 5 off us, but do you know what? We'll be there playing my best. But you've got to play. You've got to play the game. We shouldn't be advocating for games to be cancelled and moved on and things like that. If they say that they want to move the winter break, so that means that Rangers can't play, Rangers and Celtic can't play, why don't Rangers claim that we've got a tour of Japan? Celtic done it, never went a tour. Why don't we do the very same thing? We're going a tour, and that's it.
Right, Celtic know they can't beat Rangers without the fans. Their excuse is it feels like you're playing indoors football because there are no fans, or they're saying it feels like playing indoor football.
Aye.
Right, okay.
Again, we're not advocating that. We don't want any fans of football, but we just find it funny that because of the game doesn't suit Celtic. I mean, this has been happening the last couple of weeks. We've been talking about this.
I know.
And at the football, we've been having a laugh saying what they're going to do to get the game cancelled. Jokingly saying it, no thinking they would be that. No, genuinely thinking they would want to do that. I just.
Right, it's all banter with me and my pal. We only got one Celtic supporter pal. Only reason Celtic want it called off is the fans brainwashed because they know fans in ground and they beat. And also they have injuries and they think they better suited.
It's all down to injuries.
Up to another day.
It's all down to injuries. You need to remember, Celtic are playing St Johnstone tomorrow night, right? St Johnstone, I think, now I'm not going to claim to get this right because I might not be 100% right. I think St Johnstone have got 10 full first team players available. If not, it's something like that. They basically get a reserve team to come out.
See, I was thinking, sorry, Si,
that game should, if they want that game to go ahead, why would you want the Rangers game to be cancelled? That's getting the cake.
First of all, they were saying that 500 fans were to get in now up to Boxing Day, right?
Aye.
So does it not cost you the same amount of money for people to get in and work when you've cut all the fans down to 500? Do you know what I mean? It's going to cost you the same. The same as a full ground, you're going to have to...
Sorry, St Mirren, did I say St Johnstone there? St Mirren, sorry. Getting carried away. Sorry, it's not St Johnstone, it's St Mirren. I'm just getting carried away. I'm waiting on a call come in 1 minute. I was multitasking.
Sorry.
It's St Mirren tomorrow.
I seen you put your earpiece in.
Right, it's St Mirren they're playing tomorrow night. I didn't realise I said St Johnstone. They've got half a team basically. And they're, thanks guys for correcting us. I always like a bit of punk when it goes wrong. Right, the fact of the matter is, when things go against you, against Celtic, they seem to want it, the cake can't eat it. They want the game against St Mirren to go ahead, right? but they don't want the game against Rangers to go ahead. Doesn't make sense. To me, that doesn't make sense.
Right, hello there.
I love to be not jumped in. People didn't even know on the show there.
Hello there, Faye Sheridan. How you doing? And Annie, hope you're all right.
Right, I'm going to set this up. I've got a call coming in 2 minutes. The caller is David Graham. He's an author and he's written a book about all the strips that Rangers Football Club have worn throughout our history.
You got the same bit right.
I don't think did I say St John's thing? I like to be back up in St Mirren.
Oh dear.
So St Mirren are saying that they want the game called off. That was the point. I was trying to make Peter sorry. That's what happens when you drink ginger beer and no beer.
No beer. Right, St Mirren are coming out and saying they want tomorrow and Rangers game called off as they have 10 first time players available. First time team players.
Which is a good point. I don't agree with it, but it's a good point. I don't agree that St Mirren are coming out and saying cancel the game and they're not being taken seriously. Celtic have said they want a game cancelled and it's all over media. I don't think that's fair.
And I think they're having a meeting tonight about it, do they know?
Aye. Just give me a second. I need to bring this over here. I should have done this earlier.
Right. You're right. Don't start touching things, Si.
I'm not. I'm just bringing this here if I can get it.
Dana.
Because I told it my phone right on hog past. Right, and everything has gone well, isn't it? Everything's gone well.
Yes, everything's gone good.
See, when we've not got the volume on sound of that, don't start even touching things.
I don't even touch it.
And we've got this ready, so I'm just
There
waiting
we
David
go.
Graham. He's going to phone in a wee minute's time.
Are you out there, Davey?
No, I'll to do this here quickly. So if I do that, you'll phone in a minute and I'll put a graphic of the book up.
Right.
We'll also be doing a competition tonight to win a copy of the book. And it'll be a question later on. Once I've got Davey phoning, hopefully he does phone.
Right, so when is before an audio?
There's a book, look, the graphic, look. Come on, give the man a bit of copy here.
Oh, well done. See, even Joe knows that that's it. Up there, size touched
everything's gone
it.
fine. I've got the book, the graphic, in 3D. Look, we can even touch the book.
Oh my goodness.
That's the book you want for Christmas. It's got the story of every Rangers strip in it.
This is the book here. Right, there we go. Incoming call.
Hello, David, how you doing, mate?
Hi, Si, it's me. How you doing?
Oh, good. David, I've got a new earpiece set up. Can I just give you 30 seconds, guys? Give us the thumbs up to make sure you can hear David speaking all right.
Yep, all good.
You're good at your side, great. So, David, I've got the advert up, the advert on my page just now, and you're live, so don't say it, it'll get you into trouble. Right, so the book's just came out, it's just been released, I believe. It's called Rangers, and it's the strips of the last 150 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's called the Rangers shirt. Looking back at every shirt that we've worn from 1872 onwards, luckily the club have taken it on. They've wanted to make it an official history as well, so I'm absolutely over the moon to finally have it out.
So what made you want to bring a book like that out? What, is it just your passion for the vintage shirts?
Yeah, what it is, I've been collecting match shirts for about 20 years, and there was nothing like this done when I started collecting, and I always thought it'd be good to just have it all documented, what we wore and when and why and all that kind of stuff. And over the last kind of 10 years, I started researching it with the view of hoping to do something like this in the future. A guy actually beat me to it about 5 years ago, I think, with an Arsenal shirt book, but no one had done it up here, so I managed to convince a publisher that it would be a worthwhile project with the size of support that Rangers have got, and I went to the club, and luckily the club loved the idea and taken it on, and this is it. Finally made that out.
Yeah, because I spoke to you a few months ago and you were saying you wanted to wait till it's actually out. It's been a hard process. If anybody's got any questions they want to ask David, let us know and I'll ask them live. So a quick question I was going to ask you, David, what's your personal favourite stripper top that Rangers have worn in the past?
Do you know, the one that actually... I said to somebody before, it's like asking somebody who's your favourite Wayne. It's like, I love them all. Anything that's got a Rangers badge on it is good for me. But the one shirt that kind of means a lot to me is when we went over to Lyon and we beat them 3-0 with McCullough scoring and Kuzan scoring and Beasley. And I managed to get Kuzan's shirt from the game. I've actually got his shirt and his boots. And I just thought it's one of the best European results that we've had. And to have that shirt is just a cracking shirt. It means a lot to me, and it's the style of shirt that we actually made it to the UEFA Cup final the following year when we went out of the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I love the old stuff. I love the stuff from the 70s. I mean, the blue shirt from 78 to 82 with the big red and white blue collar. How can you not love that one?
Just a quick comment I'm going to make on that, what you're saying, right? I'm old fashioned, right? I love the 60s and all that stuff. My dad used to tell us that there was only ever one Ranger strip. It's a Jim Baxter one, he called it. But I'm actually looking, you can't see guys who do, but in their studio we've got Ralph Brandon, Jimmy Miller wearing it. It's just a blue, white collar, white V-neck collar, with no badge or nothing on it. I think that was one of the best. Maybe because of my dad rubbed that in his head, into my head.
Yeah.
But the other thing, David, I was going to say is, as I say, I love the 60s and I like the show off kind of thing. Rangers, all the clubs done it, but Rangers traditionally had a massive RAFC, really big, and I thought that was showing off who we were, how proud we were. And now it's a wee bit smaller. Do you like the idea of like the big collars and the big badge, or do you think it's better being neater in the new style?
No, I like the traditional. I like the big badge. We never actually got. It's funny you should say that. We never actually had the big badge at all on the shirt until 1968. Before that, it was just a plain blue shirt, white collar. But what we did have it on, we had it on the away shirt from the early 20s onwards, which was, I always found that was really strange. Like, we had the RFC crest on there, and that looks absolutely brilliant. But we never actually put it on the home shirt because it was like tradition. We just wore a blue shirt with white collar. We didn't want to change that. But in '68 they brought in the big RFC crest, and I think the big crest and all that's far superior to the kind of smaller versions.
Yeah. Quick, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that's coming in a minute, David. Just one that I'm interested in because there's a wee debate on my page a wee while ago about it. What would your answer be to the first ever kit that Rangers actually wore in a match?
First kit that Rangers would have worn would be just plain blue. I think you're going to be talking about the white one, maybe.
I don't think they ever played in that. I think they trained in it.
No, there's absolutely no proof to say that we ever played on that. I've actually found proof now. People thought that we played the 1877 Scottish Cup final. We must have played in it because we got the pictures taken. I think what it was, I've actually got 100% proof now that we played in blue for all three of the games.
Right.
Vela Leven actually played in red and blue, which no one was really aware of until I found it in the research. So the first game they played in red and blue, Rangers played in blue. And then the second game and the second replay, Vela Leven moved into white, so we played in blue for the whole three games. I think what seems to be the consensus is that shirt was borrowed from Clyde Rowing Club. The Rangers shirt tended to get really tatty at that time. Even the press at that time always was talked about how tatty the Rangers shirts looked and stuff. So I think they've made it to this final. They wanted to look good in the photos. Tom Valance is a member of the Clyde Rowing Club, amongst probably others as well. They borrowed the shirts, get their photos taken, but it's just gained kind of momentum that people thought, well, that must be our first shirt. Because even when Castore released this white one, people were saying, it would be better with the blue stars, but that's not really a Rangers shirt though. I know it looks brilliant in the photos, but it wasn't actually one of your shirts.
Aye, no, it's a good answer. I did think that, but I've always wondered if they had a definitive answer to it. Another question I was going to ask you, I forgot it was. Just looking at something
You put me off.
I had a question I wanted to ask you was regarding just before I forget, somebody's asked me a question. If you get a chance, if you can come on the feed after this, David, somebody's asked me a question. I think I know the answer is: can he buy the book in Australia?
Can you buy the book in Australia?
Can it be shipped to Australia?
Yeah, so can he buy the book? He's in Australia. So can you put the details of the book on later on for us? How they buy it?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can actually buy it from. It's got its own website called therangershirt.co.uk, right. And they'll ship. That comes from the publishing company down in England, but they'll ship anywhere in the world. So need to get it out to all the expats because there's plenty of guys in Australia and Canada and America that would love this. Get it over in big bulk order.
So I take it when you were doing this book, did you consult with the boys for the founders tour and things like that, Ian and some of
them?
Well,
I did at first, but they're not so much into the shirts. I was more just into the shirts, so I kind of went. I spoke to them and stuff like that, and the work they do is just brilliant, man. They found out some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But I kind of went off on my own tangents, looking for anything to do with the shirts, anything where we got them. Just anything, the whole history of the shirt itself, and Gordon and Ian certainly they've come up with some amazing stuff. But I was able to find stuff that possibly they wouldn't have known about as well, which was good.
Aye, that's my question. I remember it now. Before I forget, don't put me off this time. Right.
I'm not talking.
One of Rangers' first ever nicknames was the Speedy Light Blues, or the Speedy Wee Light Blues, I believe. And I've heard some debate at the time that it was because A, they were either speedy and very thin and light, so that made they were Speedy Light Blues. But I've also heard that it's because they wore a light blue jersey. Do you think the shade that that Rangers have played in has remained, or has it changed drastically in the years?
I don't think it's changed drastically. I mean, it was always royal blue. The problem is, pictures from that time, blue doesn't show up well on old film from the kind of the turn of the century and stuff like that. Neither does red. Red looks like dark, red looks black. Blue can look really light as well. So people have thought, and I spoke to David Mason about this. He thinks that we played in a shirt sometimes that was about the same colour as Man City. I'm not convinced. To me, it was always royal blue, and I think where the light blues thing came into it was around about the time of the 1877 Scottish Cup final. Vale of Leven, their normal strip was dark blue, and Rangers was royal blue. So to differentiate, they went with calling Vale of Leven the dark blues, and they started calling Rangers the light blues. I know there's been the odd, somebody found a wee article as well, it says about them, the light and speedy blues, but I think it was just more, they weren't all big guys in the Rangers team, they were a lot of a wee fast players rather than the big kind of... I think a lot of people have kind of mixed up with that wee quote where it says the light and speedy blues and just assumed that must mean we're called the light blues because of that, but I think it was more just to differentiate at that time between like
the two teams.
The teams like Vale of Leven that played in dark blue, and we were the light blues, they were the dark blues, and it kind of stuck for a long time actually.
Yeah. So two other questions I'll ask you, and I'll also put it out to everybody else. Mm-hmm. First one, does it include does your what will I call it, your investigation into the different strips that we wore and your work, does that include the goalkeeping strips? Yeah.
So I've got a chapter itself on the goalkeepers. It was quite funny because the publishing company were saying to me, look, don't make this any more than like 9 pages because people aren't interested in goalie shirts, and I was like, nah, it's ended up being 30. It's ended up being 32 pages because I was like, we've had some cracking goalie shirts. I mean, Chris Wood, Andy Gorham. There's even one from the 1967 European Cup Winners' Cup final that Norrie Martin wore.
Yeah.
So no, I tried to. And I had to cut it back. I could have made this a 500-page book, but it would have been ginormous, man. And it'll need to be a version 2, like I said, a volume 2 or something, because the publishers were like, no, we need to stop it at 320 pages.
That's getting too big. Just one last question on that, David. Sorry for interrupting you. The only one I was going to ask you, you said that Rangers have been backing what you're doing and been really interested in promoting it. Rangers have currently brought out a strip for the 150th anniversary. Caused a bit of controversy. Like you said, they've never played in that white strip with a blue badge on it. So have Rangers asked you, or have you had any dialogue about bringing out a strip that you would class as the correct strip for the 150th anniversary?
No, they haven't, unfortunately. I think Castore have a lot to do with what's actually brought out. I mean, the club, I'm sure, have the final say, but I think it's difficult. Don't know where to go with that one. But no is the answer. There's been no dialogue that way. I think it's been more... I actually was meant to speak to the Castore designers and stuff, but that never quite worked out.
Well, if anybody was listening, I think everybody would agree this is watching the show.
Done,
If you put that much effort into researching and to put it together and the club's promoting it, I think they should be speaking to guys like you and say, look, what's your opinion? Because
what do you
we're
think?
only going to get 150th anniversary. It's a massive time. And after what's happened to our club in the past, we should make sure everything's done for the 150th anniversary is second to none.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Having said that, I mean, the club's been really good with me, I have to say, as far as the book goes. Letting me into the archive, basically giving me free range to have a delve about. The only sad thing was the club don't have any shirts. Just throughout the years, people have just taken shirts like from the club throughout the years. So you would think we would have stuff, like the museum is going to be mostly stuff that is going to be loaned or borrowed or whatever. That was my only kind of disappointment, that they had nothing that they could kind of give us that way, but they had plenty documents and minute books and all that kind of stuff, so they were really kind and letting me kind of have I rummage about, and I was like a kid in a sweet shop, man.
I can imagine.
Honestly, I didn't want to go home. Joe Morrison was saying, look, I finish at 4 o'clock, I need to go, and I was like, oh man, wish you could just leave me the keys, because I would have just sat there all night. It's an amazing place, it's an amazing club, so the history we've got is just second to none, and they've still got a lot of that kind of documentation stuff, and it's just amazing to even to see it and touch it.
Aye, brilliant. Quick question I'll ask before, because a lot of people are interested in this. It's coming up to Christmas. Can they buy it in the club shop? Or are you selling it live anywhere where you can sign it?
I would say I would love it to be in the club shop, and I think Rangers would love it to be in the club shop, but they're in negotiation with Castore. Castore have the final say in it, because Castore are really keen on selling their clothes and stuff like that. They're not really keen on having other things in the shop. The club would like it into the club shop, so they're in negotiations. At the moment, it's not, but fingers crossed in the future. I think, to be honest, between all of us, I think Castore have missed a trick, because in the run-up to Christmas, this is exactly the kind of thing that Rangers fans want to buy.
Yeah. And when you're in the shop, you see that and you see the other stuff and you buy something.
Yeah. So
how would you buy it? Just give yourself a plug. Is it just your website? Is it any other way you can physically buy the book?
So there's a couple of ways just now. So you can actually go onto the Rangers website. If you go onto the Rangers website, and then I think there's a bit that says shop, and then it says Christmas. It's in there, so it's in their Christmas kind of section, and then it's its own website at rangershirt.co.uk. Or thirdly, you can send me a wee message on Twitter or whatever, and I'll sort you out with them.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
Sorry, I forgot to say. I better say, from January it goes to Amazon, it goes to Waterson's, W.H. Smith.
Right.
Barnes and Noble, stuff like that. Rangers wanted to have 6 weeks exclusivity, just so the fans could get it first. Like,
fair enough,
the true Rangers fans will go and buy it through the club, buy it through the website, stuff like that. But for anyone else that misses out on it, because I think this will sell out. I mean, they made 4,000 copies, and I think I've already sold like over 2,000 already, and it's not even at Amazon yet. So I think after Christmas, once January comes and it goes on Amazon and the bookshops, I think it'll go. So. Not saying this is a wee sales push to get in before Christmas, but
no, that's a good point.
No,
I think it definitely will sell out, and if it does, then obviously they'll be looking to do maybe an updated version in a couple of years, and hopefully there'll be more shirts come out the woodwork and stuff. But no, now's your chance to get in there quick.
Excellent. So you've agreed, David, you were going to do a competition. Somebody can win the book live on the Gers TV. Did you think of a question for us? Yeah.
So. Just a wee topical question. You know how Celtic always like to claim that they're first with things, and they like to claim that the hoops are theirs and stuff like that. But in the early years, Rangers actually wore hoops before Celtic did, and we wore a white shirt with blue hoops. So for the competition, it's what season? There was only one season, and this is where John Allen's book's got it wrong as well. There was only one, in case anybody looks it up, there was only one season that we actually wore this shirt. It was white with blue hoops. What season was it? And you can get a bonus point if you can even say the month as well.
There you go. So just to clarify, to post on the show, you need to write, what season did Rangers wear the blue and white hoops or the white and blue hoops? What season? And a bonus point if you can name the month they done that. And if you just do after that, you just write the Gers TV.
Gers TV. Twitter underscore official.
Official underscore. So the Gers TV underscore official for the Twitter. If you add the two of them in, we'll get David to pick out a winner, and he'll send you a book as soon as possible. You sign that for them as well, David?
What's that, sorry?
And you'll be able to sign the book for them?
I'll sign the book for them, yeah. Absolutely, not a problem.
Not a problem, mate. Thank you very much for coming on the show, David.
Oh, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry it took so long. Wanted to make sure the book was out there and ready, so if people wanted to go and get it, they could get it, rather than me just talk about it and then people forget. So, no, listen, thanks to you guys for publicising it, and I hope you have a good Christmas too.
No worries at all, mate. It'll be good to meet you sometime. I've often argued that there's not enough Rangers historical books out, and these are changing with the Jock Shaw book and yourself, so good luck to everybody that's getting involved in bringing the greatest story in the world to the doorsteps of the new fans and the new generations. All the best, pal.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks guys. Cheers, bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye-bye.
There you go. So that was David Graham.
Alexa, you listening?
The question basically was, what year did we first wear the hoops and what month? And they were the first team in Scottish football to wear them. And to answer somebody's question earlier on, was it a bet? I think they will know for the year, and then they realise how ridiculous it looks.
I know.
And they can't, they left it for somebody else to look ridiculous for the rest of the...
Right, book arrived yesterday. Keeping it for
Christmas
my
day.
Christmas stocking. Can't wait to get into it. Great interview, guys, for North Wales Loyal. How you doing? Oh, and happy Christmas. Thank you, Billy McGrath.
And there's a book, guys. So if he's answered the question, we'll try and get a winner later on. I don't know, there's Warren coming in quickly. Hello, Warren.
Hello
How
there,
you doing, mate?
Warren.
Alright, hey guys,
Just a
how's
change on.
everybody doing?
All good, pal. How you keeping?
Not too bad, brother. Good to see you back, and good to see you back healthy again.
It's all good.
Well, everything's going well over here. Are all ready to go for the old Christmas.
Yeah.
In my work, I've gone above and beyond the Call of Duty this week. I've been dressing up as Santa and giving out presents to some of the service users. It's been interesting, So,
Yep.
what can we say about Gers? They just keep ticking on, don't we? Me and you were talking the weekend. Say it wasn't convincing, but we got through once again, and I think that's the sign of champions.
Of course, yeah.
But-
to me, it's
but-
about winning. It's all about winning. It's all about
Well,
results.
as you said at the weekend, the problem with that is that it could dry up, and we don't want that. We need to start hitting the big goals again. We need to start hitting 4 and 5 again, and start building that up again, because you never know where the way football goes. It could come down to the goal difference, so
100%.
we need to start knocking the ball back into the net again. But I'm being very impressed now with Gio and the team and how the transition has gone,
Yeah.
I think the football's better looking on the pitch. I think Aribo, the
Outstanding.
he's a machine. He's an absolute machine. He's amazing. And it was great to see Ryan Kent back to some form again too, so...
But the big thing for me, Warren, is
continue.
some of our great players that were off the boil with the new management team coming in have all come back, and they're big names. They're big players.
I think that too, Si. I think that they also realise that Gio has probably plans for the club and plans for players, and
They've got an
they're
opportunity.
really playing. They're going to play their hearts out for him to prove that they're worth keeping. Because if not, they'll be away in the January window.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
So I mean, I think that's what I'm seeing is a bit of a hunger back into the team again.
Without doubt.
The players who have come back from injury and stuff and all fitting back in again. So. I mean, Demir Rebo at the minute is by far our best player. He's just, I don't know, the guy just seems to be hitting 8s and 9s every game,
It's awesome. It's a good time. It's good to be... We were worried with the Steven Gerrard changeover and Gio coming in. We were worried.
That's gone.
We're not losing goals. We're not losing the first goal in a game. It's massive. The fans are behind them. There's a feel-good factor there. The fact that the Scottish media is no jumping on the bandwagon, who cares? As long as the Rangers supporter are happy, that's all that matters to me.
I agree. Totally agree. I wouldn't care about any other club, and I certainly wouldn't care about that SFA or the SFPL. I mean, to be honest, we are Rangers, and as the song says, no one likes us. We don't care. Plain and simple. That's us. And I personally don't care about any other club in the league. I only care about us, and I care about us making sure that we continue on to be the best that we can be. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to 2022. I do honestly think we're going to win the league again. I think maybe a Scottish Cup, and you never know in Europe. You just never know in Europe.
Yeah.
We have a different outlook in Europe now. We don't have the Gerrard look on Europe. We're now looking the way Gio likes to play football in Europe. I certainly in the last games I saw a different type of style of football, and a lot more hitting in the attack and not sitting back the way Gerrard did. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the 2022 season, guys. It's as long as we just keep going, keep taking over, and don't care about any other team in that league. Don't care if they're the other crowd are dropping points or whatever. Don't worry about them. We worry about ourselves.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's it. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to go on. Let somebody else on, but I want to wish everybody out there a happy Christmas, and especially I know our friend Ernie Bruce in Belfast is listening tonight on YouTube. Ernie, it was great to talk to you, my friend, and I know the guys. I spoke to the guys, and something nice will be on its way to you. So, Ernie, look after yourself and have a lovely Christmas, and wish all our friends, all the true loyal blue out there, a very happy Christmas. Look after yourselves and stay safe.
All the best, brother.
All right, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you, mate. God bless you all. Bye now.
Bye, Warren.
There you go, so that was Warren, a regular caller from Northern Ireland. Quick shout out here, guys. I'm going to pull the whiskey of the month. Do you want to read this out for us? Sandra.
Who am I reading here?
The advert for
The
the Loudon
speakers
Tavern.
night?
Yeah.
I can't see that.
Right, so there's a speakers night taking place next month in the Loudon Tavern.
It's that size.
Story of my life. It's in the Loudon Tavern, the original Loudon Tavern in Duke Street. The Loudon have been massive supporters of our campaign for the sick kids. When I was in the when I was in the pub, I seen the advert and I thought I'd get a wee plug. It's Alec McDonald and it's Derek Johnson in it.
Derek Johnson
and Alec McDonald.
and Alec McDonald.
Barca Bears, and they're going to be talking about their careers with Rangers, and they're a great laugh. It's £10 a ticket. It's a Loudon Tavern in Duke Street. Class themselves the greatest pub in the world. It's hard to disagree with it. It's got great Rangers memorabilia. The staff are looking forward to welcoming you in. If you want a ticket, you need to buy it via the pub though. You need to go into the pub and buy it. And a wee shout out, they did a campaign at the weekend where you couldn't buy a pint of lager
Unless you had
a
selection box.
So a big thanks for supporting us on that, and we're happy to support you guys. So it's Speakers Night, 22nd of January in the Loudon Tavern. Derek Johnson, Alec McDonald, Barca Bears, and it's £10 a ticket.
Did we better read that for
I
there?
know, why did you know? Right, where have I got? He's in, I get a drink.
Oh dearie
Robert
me.
Burns whiskey, right? I don't do that, I can't remember the task. I poured the Robert Burns whiskey, the dairy whiskey. Even though I said name Bevy on the show, we did agree that it would dairy whiskey.
Yes.
Gordon had one whiskey. I gave him a half whiskey, a single pour of whiskey, and after the show he went, "Oh, I can't do that ever again. I was half drunk. It hit me right away." I was like, "Kidding me on, man. One can down."
Oh dear
Anyway,
me.
that's the Loudon Tavern advert, guys. If you want any more information, message the channel later on, guys. There we go, right. I've got my whiskey of the month. It's been a pleasure the whole year round, guys. Thanks to everybody that supported the Gers TV, and God save the Queen.
God save the Queen.
There's quite a lot in this, remember. Not done too much.
You're heavy googling, Roddy.
Well, there's still some. You'll need to talk through that for a minute.
I know.
I see them, I've never been any more booze ever again at the weekend.
But then you get your breath back.
That's a treble. That's what you call that's what you call a boffy pour.
I need to take that ear plug out.
That's what you call a boffy pour. Half
a bottle.
Right, another way I'm going to try. Give me a second, make sure this works. So hopefully it works. This is
No,
what I
you're
was
not
doing.
going to start messing about,
Sorry,
any.
this is my wee.
That's a chanty pot, Si.
It reminds me, I don't know if I've ever told you the story.
Chanty.
I don't know if I've ever told you the story about the time somebody broke into my house and had the pot of stovies. They wrecked the house and then done a job in my stovies.
No.
I had to throw it off the pot. Right.
No way.
We're going to get the call started, guys. Anybody wants to phone us in, out Gordon's going to phone. Let me try this. It's a new thing that I've installed. Let's see if it works.
Long may she reign. Is there volume on that? Very good.
If you want to give us a wee call, guys, just thought that because all the professional shows have got a wee jingle. They've got a wee jingle, and I thought, well, go Kyle, who used to stay with me and sit and drink whiskey to 4 and 5 in the morning, nearly made me an alky, and I thought he's done that. He done that voiceover for us a year ago. Why don't we use it?
Was that a lion?
Like let me have a look here. I'm putting the phone number up now, guys. If anybody wants to phone us,
0141 319 5230.
there is only one rule. You need to leave the last three digits.
3 digits on the feed, please, guys. Leave the last 3 digits of your mobile number on the feed.
If we don't know you, then you won't know
No,
us.
we can.
That whiskey just went to me. You need to go the rest of yourself, man.
Right, good evening. Hello there, Mark Officer. How you doing? Billy, Jimmy Payton, how you doing? I seen you on the feed earlier. Hope you're doing alright.
Couple of things. One of the things that happens on the feed that you might not be aware of, we don't always get the names up there. And you
Until the
sometimes
next
on the
day.
phone.
Sometimes I can see things in front of me than I do on the screen. It's not the next day.
The other thing I was going to say, guys, it always sounds cheeky when we say this. We do not mean to be cheeky when we say it. But ask you, because at the start of every show and through the feeds, Facebook put a post up saying, on behalf of the Gers TV, send us stars.
Aye,
Stars. I think that's the message. We never see this message.
Marion asked us that as well.
And people send money in for us, but don't ask you to do that. I know it sounds like it's us. It's what Facebook do, because
Facebook's put it on
You
their
get the
feed
money
as
for
if we have wrote it and we haven't wrote it.
we get a couple of pound for it, but we don't. If you give us £100, we get about £2 or something like that. We're not asking. We're not actually asking anybody for money. It just comes up.
Right, Gordon.
Coming in there, isn't there? Who's that?
I know.
I think that's Gordon.
I think it's Gordon, yes.
Hello.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hold on, I've not got my earpiece in.
It's whiskey time, Gordon. We wait a
Hello.
minute.
Right, we've got we've got earpieces and we've got the microphones back, so anybody that was moaning about couldn't hear us, it's back. We're back to professional mode, and we've got Gordon.
Good.
Gordon, how you doing, mate?
I would say, Sandra, you're not quite as good looking as the person that I saw last week, but you're not too bad.
Oh, that's
right?
alright.
And that whiskey was strong and stuff. Don't know if I can make it back to that place after that whiskey last week. It knocked me for something.
That's how I don't take it.
I nearly cycled right into the Clyde.
So Gordon, tell us your opinion. Obviously, it's all about having different opinions on the show. How do you feel the last 5 years has went regarding changing fixtures to accommodate the no fans in the ground?
It's an absolute nonsense. Again, they're just looking for any kind of advantage. And see if you look at it objectively, take away our passion for Rangers. You can almost applaud them for their bare-faced cheek to actually do it, because it's up to us to have the guts to say no chance. We've got to stand up for ourselves, and we've got to stand up for our title chances and say no. Because if we postpone the game for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we'll have our players away at the African Cup of Nations, etc. Could get injuries, could get suspensions, and it's an absolute nonsense. I think some of the Celtic fans are actually scared to actually get exposed for their chanting, because if you've only got a stadium of 500 people, you will hear the chants for once, and no matter how much they try to cover it up, but it would be exposed. I've already had 2 Celtic fans say to me that that's what they want it postponed, because if it goes ahead, they'll have to take up the season ticket.
Aye, they're no plastic.
I know.
And that is a genuine truth. But if you look at it objectively, they're doing all they can to increase their chances of winning the league. And we've got to realise that and stand up for ourselves and say no. The fixture should, unless there's a blanket ban on sporting events, then the fixture list has to be fulfilled.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say, I don't like saying this, Gordon, but when it comes to the PR side and the speed that Celtic come out and defend themselves, we're not even at the races with them. We haven't, as far as I know, we haven't even made a statement yet.
I know, nothing.
It's quite frightening.
I honestly couldn't agree more. St Mirren have got something like almost a whole first team out. Dundee United had a full first team out at the start. They didn't ask for it to get postponed.
Yeah.
The Celtic fans have come out and said, "Aye, delay the games, but not until we play St Mirren Wednesday night."
Doesn't it
Do you know
make
what I
sense?
mean? Like, you couldn't make it up. If they came out and said, "Okay, from today, let's delay the games," why not give St Mirren a fair chance and delay the game until we play them?
Yeah.
But absolutely not. And they know that they've got a small squad. They've been playing a lot of games recently. Turnbull went off on Sunday due to fatigue. They've got 2 or 3 players on the verge of getting injured because of fatigue. So they're using every trick in the book to try and get to their advantage. And if you look at it objectively, fair play to them for doing that. We just need to make sure that we stand up for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, we employed a new PR man at the start of last season. I'm expecting him to come out all guns blazing and say, look, we want the game to go ahead.
David Graham.
Aye, we want to, but no the author that came on here. We want this game to go ahead. We don't have any further comments on it. Let the show go on. It doesn't need to be a big statement, but Rangers should make it clear that we're not for cancelling games, because when we needed the games to be changed to benefit us in the UEFA Cup, it didn't happen.
Absolutely, and I'm still you hit the nail on the head. I'm sure all the Japanese Celtic supporters. I'll just wait for the day they come and play them
Of
over
course.
there.
Yeah. Of course.
Because fair, as I say, I don't want to applaud them too much, but as I say, we've got to play them. We've got to play our game, and we've got to play them at their game, and say, well, no, if you want the game postponed, let's start for Wednesday then.
Yep, I agree with that. One other question, Gordon. I know you're not wanting to ramble on too long. That's my job. That whiskey's making me go now, man. I'm going to start singing everything. I'm like, sure, it's... I was a wee treble there, because it's Christmas time.
Give us a song, go on.
I want you to be all political for a second. I want you to answer a question for me, because you know quite a lot about politics. Well, the Celtic supporting mass voted for the SNP in the last couple of years, mainly because they wanted to end the union, so to speak. That's my belief. I might be wrong in that. Would this decision affect votes for the SNP in the future from the Celtic camp?
I would say honestly, if you took this decision on its own, then I would probably say no. But once you start adding it on to other things, once you start adding it on to the offensive behaviour of Football Act, which was, by the way, a ploy by some Celtic supporting MSPs to have a go at Rangers, ended up backfiring absolutely massively. They lost support. There was protests at Parkhead, as much as you can call them that, about it. And there's been a few other things as well over the last few years. There's the smacking ban. There's the basically thought police crime bill that they brought into place as well. They brought in the Named Persons Act as well. So on its own, no. But once you start to stack it against the other things, and once you start to stack it against them coming out and changing these rules all the time as well, and messing people about, I think there's definitely cracks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, good, some good points here. No, good call, mate. Thanks a lot for the call.
Okay, Sandra, hopefully I'll see you. Sandra, hopefully I'll see you soon. Simon, hopefully I won't see you soon.
Aye, shoot round. Shoot round at the bar.
Shoot my round at the bar, you can't be on. On that note, just before I go, just a huge thank you to everyone that showed up on Friday night and everyone that donated and bought raffle tickets on Friday night. And as Simon says at the start of the show, and Sandra as well, everyone that's put a selection box into the different pubs or donated a selection box to you guys personally, thanks very much. In a short space of time, it just shows what a wonderful family and community the whole thing is.
Definitely. They always turn up, Trumps, Gordon.
Much maligned and never ever triumphed by the media, but we don't look for it.
Okay, now that's the main contributor off your show. Try and fill out the last 10 minutes or so, okay, if you can.
Okay, mate, you take care.
Merry Christmas.
It was been a great show again, great guest as well, and you can send me a whiskey and I'll try and brave it.
I've got your Talisker whiskey, I've got that in here, so if you don't get your ass up here soon, it'll be tanned.
If you tan that, I'll tan you, right? Cheerio.
Right, all the best.
Bye, Gordon.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
So there you go, guys. A couple of people I think were calling there without the last 3 digits. Did you see any?
Yes, the last number, the last call I had.
Aye. Doesn't matter who you are, if there's no 3 digits on it, we've either not saved your number for some reason or we've just missed it.
Right, Natalie Patterson, does anyone actually, that's the number, you can't get through, guys, if your number is not, your last 3 digits is not on the feed.
Just double check it's not somebody I know texting me.
Natalie Patterson, does anyone actually think these rules will only last 3 weeks? They'll be reviewed in 3 weeks, but with the spike in cases in January, they'll last longer. Can't pause the league forever, and it would be brutal for football to be cancelled again. It sucks. I'd rather have football with no fans than no football at all. I totally agree with you, Natalie.
I agree with almost every point there. What I will say sounds quite controversial. I don't want to get into a debate on it. I personally genuinely believe until people stop taking these jags, which I'm 100% against, this will never end.
This will never end.
Honestly, I remember the guy, Jason Leach, saying on the news a couple of months ago, they said to him, is it a booster? Why do you call it a booster and not the 4th jag? And his answer was, it's less intimidating. It's just an extra jag all the time. And I don't believe it will disappear until then. Yeah, I don't believe that will happen. So, I think personally, the world needs to move on. I think you need the herd mentality. I know it sounds horrible, but you catch a virus, you get better.
Hey Sandra, put a smile on your face, there's nothing wrong. Robert Dunsmore, good. Joe Wiley, I thought Gordon was a host last week, but you can't get a word in for him.
Yeah, it was, but you know what, we invited him on, I've got to give him a chance, somebody else has got to get an opportunity now and again. Right, there's a wee call came in for Carl. I got his name
Carl.
correctly.
Right.
How you doing, brother?
Fine. Just want to say Merry Christmas to you and a loyal and prosperous New Year. Glad to see Sandra's back.
Oh, thank you very much, Carol.
I don't know, this independence carry on all the time with Scotland. You have got to get money off of England for everything,
I know.
Yeah.
you know. So why do they keep going hammering on about it, you know? So, and the other things with the games maybe going to get cancelled, that'll come for down here, you know. Because
Well, she needs money for
cancel
down
the football,
south. She needs
I
money
bring-
for there for to put us into furlough.
It's the last time that we've got two things in life in Scotland: the pub and football. Do you know what I mean? It sounds grim,
I've
but
only
it's
got
true.
football on the tail. I don't go to pubs anymore, Si. It's cheaper to drink in the house,
True, aye.
and it's softer to fall. Aye, well, that's all I was wanting to say. Have a great time. And we'll gub them anyway. It doesn't matter when we play them, we'll gub them.
Aye, no, I think that too. But I just think that we shouldn't be bound down to anybody. We need a PR department that are strong and that are straight to the point. That this is what we believe in, and we're not going to back down.
Aye, but your PR department's non-existent.
Yeah.
No, I know, I agree with you there.
Sadly, I agree with you.
It's easier to find Boris Johnson than it is to find him.
In fact, the last
Right,
time...
good night before I get started by. Have a
No.
great time. Stay loyal, boys.
Yeah, all the best. I mean, the last time I can remember the PR coming out making a statement was when I don't know who it was. I know they blamed the Union Bears, but I don't know who it was. Young boys in the tune singing a couple of songs. I think that was the last time I heard them coming out and they were
I know.
right in there condemning.
Ken Tate, bravo, it won't ever end otherwise. Just live, get on with it, and moan the Gers. That's the best advice you could ever hear, Ken Tate.
Again, guys, if anybody disagrees with us that we think the show must go on, put the thumbs down and we'll do a wee count later on. But I'm saying thumbs up that the game and the show must go on.
That's it, I do think it should go on.
It's all about squads nowadays, and if your squad's not tough enough and not ready, then that's not our problem.
Yep, I know.
And if the boot was another foot, I'm quite sure
Getting rid of
the
this
game
too.
would be getting pushed to go ahead if it was the Rangers.
I
The
know
team-
we'd be getting pushed into it whether we wanted it or not.
Of course it would be, and because it's the other way about, and they get to dominate, they get to no dominate. We dominate Scottish football. They get to dictate Scottish football rules at times. You need to stand up and say this isn't happening. It's not right.
Yeah, every time I see Sandra, she looks like she's coming for a cruise. See, that's a Glasgow tan. All over Glasgow.
But I don't think I've seen anybody with the thumbs down yet. I get it's a Rangers show. We're pro Rangers. We don't hide the fact that what we stand for. But I'm not caring what the outside world think about. What I care is what do the Rangers support want. And
It shouldn't be about what other people want. It should be doing it in the
it should be about the
Rangers.
Rangers, and I think that we should be trying to direct any campaigns towards backing the support. We don't get back to an awful lot. The support don't want this game cancelled,
I know.
and I think you have to be fair with the fans. We don't want the game cancelled. We should be putting a statement out. It worries me if we've not heard the news tonight because we're on live, but it worries me to find out that Rangers not putting a statement out saying
Well,
don't agree.
the night is supposed to be, they're having a meeting the night to tell us what's going to happen. So after tonight, we should be told.
we should know. But people, the whole thing. I mean, if they go there by, they would stop. They've got the pubs as well to watch it.
I know.
It's a big weekend. It's a big day out for people. It's the traditional New Year's Day game. People look forward to it. They enjoy it.
Sorry.
It's part of Scottish culture. I'm totally not in favour of any fans being banned. I would quite like both clubs to have
Sets of
support
fans
at the
again,
game.
yep.
Quite happily if they all sang their songs and they give each other pelters. None of it would offend me, either side. And back to the good old days. But it ain't going to happen. The Celtic support push for this hate campaign and for the privacy laws and things like that and all these things online, and because they push for it, everybody's basically suffering forever. I mean, even on the show, you need to watch what you say
I
because
know,
people are
but
determined
sometimes I
they're
know.
going to get offended, and
I know.
you think
Then
to
there's
yourself,
complaints
there
and whatever.
must be bigger things and bigger agendas in life that you should be worrying about
I know.
than these wee silly things. But that's what they campaign for, because they thought it was all about getting rid of the Billy Boys, getting a few Rangers and Orangemen in the jail, and the law would disappear. But all these laws have came back to bite them on the bum.
There you go, look. I was meant to be working at Ibrox on the 26th doing the kiosk, but it has to been cancelled because the government's saying no fans are allowed in.
Right. I take it that means the game, well, I'm assuming in the game for the...
The 26th, that was...
No, the one at the B team as well then
That
at
B
Ibrox.
team,
That'll
I
be...
bought tickets for that.
I was
I
gonna
bought
go to that.
tickets for the B team for me and the boys. I got that, and we were going to go watch it.
Again,
It
guys,
was all for them, B team.
I was looking forward to it. Again, I've got people trying to call in It doesn't matter who you are, it's the same rules for everybody.
If your last 3 digits is 687, please leave
Right,
your number on the feed.
We don't know who you
and
are,
then
it's
I'll
nothing
answer
personal.
and then I'll answer the phone to you.
But sometimes we get people from the other side want to give abuse. And some Celtic fans are like giving me abuse because you could hand in a selection box for kids into the royalty bar.
I seen you saying something about that.
Just put him in his place and left him there. That's a different mentality, certain people go out in the world.
True, John, you can't defend that lot.
It's very true. Aye. Another couple of minutes we'll get to wrap it up. So reminder guys, if you want to win the book, it's the Rangers book, the Rangers shirts book. It won't be available on Amazon until January, and if you want to buy it, the website will be on the page later on.
And you've got to tomorrow to hand in selection boxes or anything you'd want to donate to the Sick Kids appeal.
Yep, and any of the pubs, the Loudon Tavern, Duke Street, the Bristol Bar, Duke Street, the Black Bull, Cambuslang, the Royalty Bar, Mary Hill, and Oswald's in the city centre. And if you want to win the book, you need to answer the question: what year did Rangers first wear the white and blue hoops?
And if you want, throw in what month.
What month? You get an extra prize for the guys if you get the book sent right to you.
That's a wee bonus.
It's been great. The competition we've had so far this year has been great. Get to see winners and meet the winners. It's been fantastic.
Well, thanks guys for everybody that's helped us with the Sick Kids appeal.
For everything, it's been a good year as well. It's been a hard year with the lockdowns and things like that happening.
So have a good time this Christmas guys, no matter what. Spend it wherever you want. And always remember, we are the people.
I have been lucky in those who were around me from the boardroom to the dressing room. In times of stress, their unstinted support, unbroken devotion to our club and calmness in adversity eased the task of making Rangers Football Club the premier club in this country. To be a Ranger is to sense the sacred trust of upholding all that such a name means in this shrine of football. They must be true in their conception of what the Ibrox tradition seeks from them. No true Ranger has ever failed in the tradition set him. Our very success, gained you will agree by skill, will draw more people than ever to see it, and that will benefit many more clubs than Rangers. Let the others come after us. We welcome the chase. It is healthy for us. We will never hide from it. Never fear. Inevitably, we shall have our years of failure, and when they arrive, we must reveal tolerance and sanity. No matter the days of anxiety that come our way, we shall emerge stronger because of the trials to be overcome. That has been the philosophy of the Rangers since the days of the gallant pioneers.